Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable Podcast. We are here recording episode 155, and today we will be talking about spending holidays abroad or away from home. Should you do it? Should you not? What are some of the advantages and disadvantages? And also some things that you could do if you decide to spend your holidays outside of home or go abroad. So I'm looking forward to discussing this. And there are, I think, a lot of great reasons why you should spend your holidays abroad if you can. But at least where I am right now in my life, being in China, I would love to be able to spend some more time with my family back in the States during the holidays. But beggars can't be choosers. I knew what I signed up for here in China. But I can't complain because I can live vicariously through my amazing buddy and my amazing co-host, Jared. What's going on, Jared?
Hello. What Chad neglected to mention is that there's also potentially some benefits to not going home for the holidays.
Also true.
Depending on how you look at it. Chad would never say that. You know, he's a good boy. Chad's a good boy. And please, spread a little love. Reward this good boy and follow us on Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast. Chad loves it when I tell him numbers go up. Yep. He never checks, but he loves it when I tell him. I've been telling him for the past 6 months, actually, that we have over 6 million listeners per episode. And I just keep perpetuating it. Next week it'll be 10 million. Who knows where we'll be in 2 months. Follow us.
Spread a little love.
On Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1. And then you can also give us some 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. You can also see us on YouTube, Untranslatable Podcast, and you can see our songs of the pod. And you could go to our website, untranslatable.com. There's so many ways you can't miss us. Somehow, seems like you still are, though.
That is true.
So it seems like you're better, which is good.
Your students, slowly but surely.
Your students are taking you seriously again. They're like, oh, good, he's standing up straight. That's a good sign. Have you had any eventful language tables or classes or anything? Because it seems like most of the fun stuff really is coming from these language tables.
Yeah,
not
the
from class.
English corner or conversation hour. Those are both kind of interchangeable terms. Yes. So I had a suggestion from a student of mine 2 weeks ago to do an English corner about music. And I think anyone who listens to our podcast knows you and I are both avid music fans.
Yes.
We love music. So I had students ask me questions, as always, at the end of the English corner. And I'm always curious to see if they actually will ask me questions related to our topic of the day or if they're just off the wall.
Are you single?
So these are, they don't ask me that anymore. But anyway, so I have some interesting questions for you. Some of these I didn't have an answer for. This one is not a question, but a request. And one student wrote, please sing a song for us. And I told them, unless I have a guitar in my hand, I'm not going to sing a song for you. So didn't sing them a song. They were a little disappointed, but...
Are you willing to bring in the guitar?
They asked me for next week. They're like, could you bring it in? And it's like... I had an acoustic guitar in the Czech Republic, and I actually brought that to class with me 3 or 4 times. But I would not, it's just too much work for me to bring my travel guitar, which is an electric guitar, my little amplifier. It's just too much crap to bring. Oh, and I forgot to tell you. So one of my little effect pedals, one of my things that I use with my traveler guitar might be ruined. Because I forgot to mention this to you when we were talking last episode. So the day I got food poisoning, of course, getting food poisoning wasn't enough. So I took a nap because I was exhausted. I woke up and heard the sound of running water. And now the apartment above me, usually I can hear their water coming down the pipes. But I was like, this sounds different. So I get up, I go to my living room, and as I step into the living room, I hear squish. And I can feel my foot getting wet. Just wait. So my hose for my washing machine, which is on my balcony.
Get out of here, hose. I have a problem I have to fix.
It broke. I don't know how it broke, but it broke and it came loose. And so water was shooting out and it went, and there was so much water that it got into my living room. And thankfully, I didn't have my MacBook charger on the floor because that probably would have been toast.
Yeah.
But I did have my effect pedal on the floor because that's where it goes. You step on it with your foot. So
Right.
I've had it drying. I've dried it off with a towel. I'm a little nervous to try it out because I'm worried I don't want to try it out.
Short
and
out
have
your
an
guitar or
explosion.
something, or
Right,
shut out the
right.
speakers.
Yeah, so I don't know, but eventually I think I'll try it and see if it works. But yeah, dude, so I spent an hour the day after the day I had food poisoning, I spent an hour mopping up my living room because I had all this water in here.
Did any repair person have to come or anything, or you just had to clean it up and okay?
I cleaned up the water, and then the repair guy came in, and at first I was super stoked because I was like, I put down a little bit of like a floor cleaner, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna use this to mop up my floor because I mean it's water. So I was mopping up my floor, cleaning my living room floor, and then of course the Chinese repairman comes in and he's wearing his shoes, and so now there's mud all over my living room floor. Thankfully, though, my apartment, it's right. Thankfully, at least here there are my entire apartment's all tile, so. That's the good thing. Thank God it wasn't carpet because
It's kind of rude that he
been
just
a hot
walked
mess.
in. Usually here they put those little boot condoms on their boots
Right.
to avoid that from happening.
Yeah, this
dude's
is
just
China, my man.
Hey, yo, my bad, son.
Right.
You clean that up.
Right. But anyway, so that was pretty crazy. So that's also why I probably won't bring in my electric guitar, because the guitar plugged into the amp alone, it doesn't sound super great. It's better to have some effects to add some like nicer tones to it.
Right.
So yeah. If I had an acoustic guitar, though, for sure, I definitely would have. But yeah, so
So
that was
your
the first
students
question.
would love that, though.
Oh, they would. They totally would. The next one was, do you know any Chinese singer, and what's your favorite Chinese song? Sadly, I don't know any Chinese singers. So if any of our listeners out there know any famous
You didn't
Chinese
tell them the
singers or
Higher
Chinese songs-
Brothers? Is that who it was?
Oh, I didn't. I forgot about them. I didn't tell them about them. But I did tell them about the
This
other
is
song
why I'm
we
telling
shared.
you giving you these Chinese songs of the pod, so you can have an answer to that.
That's true. I did tell them, though, but then the funny thing was I told them about the song Dui Bu Qi Wo De Zhang Wen Bu Hao. Well,
Yeah.
the song is only called Dui Bu Qi. I'm sorry. I told them about that song, and then they were all like super perplexed. And I was like, oh, all right, you wanted me to sing? I'll sing for you. So I sang the melody for them. I sang the Dui Bu Qi Wo De Zhang Wen Bu Hao. So I
Were they
sang
all
that for
laughing?
them. They were. They clapped,
Yeah.
and then they were laughing.
I love the
So,
clapping.
Yeah, they love to
We
clap.
don't do
here.
enough clapping here as children.
We don't. We really don't. They do a lot of clapping there. Good. So then this one was a funny one, and I also didn't have an answer for this one. What is your view of Samuel Huntington's theories, especially the class of civilizations?
I have no
I-
idea what any of that means.
Yep, me either. So I straight up told him, I said, you probably know more about this. I've never even heard of that. So there we
Samuel
go.
Huntington. Oh, here, let me just tell you what it is.
Okay.
Clash of Civilizations. Clash of Civilization. I can't even say it. The Clash of Civilizations is a theory that people's cultural and religious identities will be the primary source of conflict in the post-Cold War world. The American political scientist Samuel P. Huntington argued that future wars would be fought not between countries, but between cultures. It was proposed in a 1992 lecture at the American Enterprise Institute, which was then developed in a 1993 Foreign Affairs article titled "The Clash of Citizens." In a response to his former student Francis Fukuyama's 1992 book, The End of History in the Last Man. Huntington later expanded his thesis in a... Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's what it is.
Okay.
That's some intense... That's... Jeez.
This student is always the one that asks super like deep questions.
Is
Always.
this person trying to show off? Is that what it is?
Maybe they're trying to flex a little. I don't know. Then,
So
then
that's
another
a yes.
student.
You're just trying to be nice, and I appreciate that.
That's true.
You're a good
That's true.
teacher.
Got to be diplomatic here, Jared.
There's always that one student, though. As a teacher, I feel like you kind of appreciate it, but it's also kind of like, relax a little bit. Like
There's
you
a
don't have
fine
to-
line. Definitely. There's definitely a fine line. The next one said, I noticed that you and another teacher have a different accent. Which state do you come from? Are
Interesting.
there big differences among the accents in different U.S. states?
Who's the teacher?
I won't say her name, but she's from Utah.
Oh.
And she does have a different accent than I do. I
You've
was
noticed
really
it?
impressed that, I mean, yeah, I would
Okay.
say so. I mean, it's not huge, but I mean, just
Right.
It's a little different. I was
Yeah, but
super
like we
impressed, though,
couldn't
by
like.
this
There's no
student.
sort of like stereotype of a Utah accent, like a Southern or
Right.
New York or Boston or something. You know, it's like
Right.
classic Utah accent.
Right. But I think I've spoken with that teacher enough to hear the subtle differences between
Right.
both of our language. So yeah. So So I
Were you able to like? Were you able? Did you notice them well enough? Because that's an interesting question. Mm-hmm. Did you notice them well enough before hearing that question to be able to like be like some words, like pull up words where you notice differences?
Not really.
I know that's hard.
Not really.
That's really hard to do, but
not really. But I explained just the fact that like regionally we have different accents in the United States. We also have different words. I actually used you as an example because you were blasphemous in the state of Michigan. Jared knows exactly where I'm going with this. I told them that in Michigan we use the term pop for a soft drink, whereas Jared is a heretic and committing Michigan treason and says soda instead of pop.
I do say
right?
soda.
Don't you say soda? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I explained that, and then I tried to do a very terrible rendition of like a New York accent.
Hey, get out of here.
Right. New York. What else? I didn't try Boston. I should have done Boston though and be like, get the car keys to the car.
Yeah. Hey, dude, park the car.
Park the car.
I mean, that's the easiest stereotype to do there.
And then I tried to do a Texan accent. Yeah, okay. I tried to do Texas one. Wasn't
this is
great.
Hilarious.
Yeah. The students were cracking up though.
I can imagine. Clapping? Any clapping?
Probably.
Okay.
The next one.
I really want clapping.
So there's this website here that I really like, Jared, because a lot of times here in China, Western stuff is not very accessible. Mm-hmm. Like, things like YouTube and stuff like that. So there's a site. You could probably even find it in the States, Jared. Just humor me and try it. Type in Billi.com. Billi. Billi.com.
Oh, I've heard of it.
And this is basically what I use here in China for YouTube. And there's a lot of videos that were on YouTube that have been moved over to this website. So I can even find stuff that's on YouTube on here, which is great. Now, the funny thing about Bilibili, though, is that they have like these weird comments that go across the top of the screen. They have comments all over. So a student asked me, what do you think of the screen comments on Bilibili? Do you look at them? And I kind of laughed and I told them, well, I mean, I'm aware that they're there, but they're all Chinese characters, so it's not really like I pay that much attention.
Interesting. These are... I love these questions.
I do too. They're always a lot of fun. The next one is that a student gave me was...
Can I ask you a question similar to that? Yeah. Do you ever pay attention to ads?
Here in China?
Yeah, whether it be on your phone or not.
So this is the funny thing with my TV, Jared. So my TV is a smart TV. It's hooked up to my Wi-Fi. And my TV, when I turn it on, there's usually 10 to 14 seconds of some advertisement. So, I mean, I always watch them. I try to see if I can pick up or understand everything. So far, it's been pretty much nothing, but hopefully that will change eventually. But yeah, I do watch some of the ads. They're really interesting.
What are some popular products you see being advertised? Can you... Electronics?
Household stuff like mops. There's a couple mop ones that are popular. There's one, I don't even know what the ad is. There's one with this like woman in a suit. She's like saying this thing, and then like a group of like Chinese guys behind her like set up like a choir, then repeat what she says. It's like, I don't know what it is.
You don't know what the product is.
Advertising. Yeah, I don't even know.
That's not a good advertisement. A good advertisement, even if you don't speak the language, you should at least know what the product is.
Yeah, you should contact that company. Maybe you can get a job here in China and come join me, Jared. But yeah, so the next question I got was, at some specific time, I always have some songs that I think it's time to listen to. So they mean like a specific time of year. Like it's Christmas is approaching. I think it's time to listen to Jingle Bell Rock, which I also was like, I'm glad you know that song.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
That was kind of cool. So I wonder if you have some songs that you want to listen to at a specific time. So I told them first of all that I am not a fan of stores and radio station. Well, not that I listen to the radio anymore. Anyways, but it's in principle here, people, that they start playing Christmas music in like November, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's like that meme, like ooh baby, like no, what is you doing? Like. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you playing Christmas music in November? But I think
Thanksgiving doesn't... Students...
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Thanksgiving doesn't really make money. Like, I think even probably Halloween might make more money than Thanksgiving, like on a whole. And so I think it's just like there's really no benefit in marketing, because it's like, all right, people are going to get the same things they've had for the past. Like we're going to get a rush of people, but it's hard to sell people on new Thanksgiving food. They've been eating the same thing for the past 50 hundreds of years.
Right. Yeah. And well, the other thing that I also said too is that there's really no Thanksgiving music either.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
there's even some Halloween music. Yeah.
But there's no Thanksgiving music.
I couldn't tell you one Thanksgiving song.
Right. Me either. So yeah, but I told them that like drives me crazy, and I really like Christmas music, but not when it's in November. Actually, I need to start listening now that it is December. I haven't been listening to any Christmas music. I need to start listening to some Christmas music.
The only does that? Oh, well, that's actually anyway. Does I'm much like Thanksgiving. I'm kind of over Christmas music. I need some new shit.
Right. That's fair.
I need some new stuff. Like I get it. You know, I get it. Nat King Cole. The chestnuts are done and roasted, sir.
Right, that's true. That is true. But yeah, so I explained to them though that like obviously during Christmas time, like in December, I'll listen to Christmas music. I have certain songs and certain albums I associate with certain seasons or time periods in my life. Like there's a really good album, actually one of my favorite albums by John Mayer called Born and Raised. And this was actually this would have been summer of 2012 when you and I were living in Albion during that summer. And a fraternity brother of ours showed me the album Born and Raised by John Mayer, and I listened to that sucker on repeat that whole summer. I still listen to it all the time, but it always kind of transports me back into that summer.
I love that.
I also told my students I tend to listen to a lot of reggae music in the winter because it's so damn cold. I want to put my mind somewhere warmer. So I listen to like reggae music, and it like makes me like feel like I'm on a beach, like sipping like a rum like cocktail or something.
I'm a big fan of the band NERD, and whenever I listen to them nowadays, I don't listen to them as often, but I always kind of, every now and again go back and listen. It reminds me of when I was 16 over summer walking to Driver's Ed. It was like a 20-minute walk from my house, and I would walk there, and I would almost always listen to that album over that summer. And so whenever I listen to it, I just think about walking down that street.
Right? Yeah. Isn't it crazy how music can do that?
Yeah.
It's really something. And then there's certain music I also listen to that reminds me of our time in Vienna. Like Seed.
For sure.
Is one. Waldorf and Stettler. Check out our Song of the Pod playlist. They were like one of our
That's
first
like the
songs.
original. Waldorf and Stettler might have been the original.
They might be the OGs here, that's for sure. And then let's see here. What else? Let's see here. For Vienna. Oh, also Franz Schubert. Anything Schubert related, because that's really where I became exposed to Schubert, was when we were in Vienna. So yeah. But yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool. Yeah. Have you? Next question for my student. Have you ever watched the Peking Opera, which would be the Beijing Opera? And I have not yet, but I would like to. Also, this is a funny one. Once again, my students really are thirsty for me to bring in my guitar and sing to them. Could you bring your guitar with you and sing us a song or two? Maybe at the last English corner class. Thanks a lot. Not going to happen though. Not even
at the last.
Tomorrow, next week will be my last, because we aren't doing one on Christmas Day because I will not. I am observing the holiday because I want to hang on to that small fraction of me that's still American and still Western. So I'm taking off Christmas Eve and Christmas.
So there's a semester split somewhere when you're going to get a new batch of students, right?
So this is voluntary. This is completely voluntary.
Well, why is it
like
the
an
last one though?
Program? Because my
that
other
person
colleague
graduating or something?
No. My other colleague her last one is next week, and we've been trying to kind of run this together. So it's not really fair if she ends it next week and I keep going.
Oh, really?
Right? That's unfair. Yeah, that's unfair, I would say.
But the students probably want it, don't they?
I mean, they do, but then that kind of makes my colleague look bad.
Why is she leaving it?
Because that's just what she decided, was she was only going to do it from here to here and then end it. The other thing is, too, is that the students have final exams coming up.
Okay. But I don't, I don't think there's anything wrong with her, not wanting to do it anymore. But I also couldn't understand
it's not
why.
her not wanting to do it anymore. It's just that's the cutoff for this semester.
Start
up again next semester. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I got
So
you.
it's not the last. It's the last one for this semester. Yeah.
And so what is so you're gonna take like a traditional Western Christmas and New Year's break? When is there?
Well, not New Year's. Not New Year's. I'm probably going to have to work on New Year's because I'll be administering a final exam.
When is their long break around, sort of in that
I think
season?
my official break starts January 11th until February 16th. Or no, hold up. It's even longer than that. I think
So
it's
you
until,
really just get Christmas off is all you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think some of the Western teachers here actually will still work. I have to double check again to see. But I will have to make up my classes, I think, on that Friday and maybe even Saturday, which I'm not super thrilled about. But I think it's important for me, for my sanity, to take the time to celebrate Christmas.
It would be it's interesting. This is going to be your first Christmas where there's no, like, you've been away from your family during Christmas before, I assume, have you?
No. Because last year,
right.
we'll talk about this when we do holidays abroad, when we talk about our main segment. But last year, my parents came to visit during Christmas.
Right. But this is your first Christmas without, like, in a country where it's not observed. So there's no outwardly signs of Christmas around you. Like, you might not be home, but there's no signs of Christmas anywhere, is there?
Except for when I go to Starbucks.
Really?
Christmas
they still
music
do
at
that.
Starbucks. Here in China, they play Christmas music, and obviously they have the festive cups. But yeah.
They should tell the AFA that.
Right? No kidding. I'll don't worry, Jared. I'll send them an email.
They need to update their list.
Right. Starbucks China, they're on the good list.
China's on the good list.
Check out our previous episode 154, if you're curious about this AFA list, about the good, the marginal, and the naughty list of stores for Christmas.
The naughty and nice list is what they call it.
Thank you. Yes. It'll be kind of weird this year, not being with my family for Christmas. But that's why, because part of me thought about working during Christmas. One, I have to double check again if I have to make up my lessons, because in my contract it states I'm allowed to take those days for holiday. So technically a holiday means you don't have to make up the lessons. But actually, Jared, I want your advice. I'm a little, I feel like even if it was a holiday and I technically could take those days off and not have to make up those lessons, as a I would like to consider myself a conscientious teacher. As a conscientious teacher, I feel bad not giving my students those, and this will be the last week of classes before final exams. So not giving my students that last lesson before Christmas, before final exams. So what if you were me? If you were me and you get Christmas off as a holiday, you get Christmas Eve and Christmas off as a holiday, and I teach that will be on a Tuesday and a Wednesday. So I would have to make up 3 classes. I would have to make up 2 English teaching methodology classes and 1 spoken English class. I would. What would you do? Would you just say, well, this is a holiday and I observe it, or would you say, well, I technically don't have to make it up, but I will make it up?
So the option is there's no option of working that day.
I mean, that's the thing.
I'll just answer your original question.
Not take the days off? Mm-hmm.
What I would do is, I think because I would be away from family for the first time. I'm speaking as you. You're away from family for the first time and you're in a place where they don't observe Christmas unless you're going to Starbucks.
Right.
I think personally, I would not take the day off at all, just because I'd be interested. I think almost as more of an experiment to see what that is like, to see how that feels, and then because I feel like I'd have nothing to lose, and it's like, what am I gonna do? What are you gonna do to celebrate? Do you have a celebrations plan that you couldn't do otherwise?
Yes.
Okay, well that's fair then.
Yeah.
But I would say. I would say make it up. Especially since it's the last class.
That's what I'm hoping to do.
And it's not like you're overburdened work-wise right now. Like you're not.
Thankfully, now, no. Final exam time will be a little crazy, I think, because I'll have over 100. I'll have over 200 exams to grade, so that'll be a little crazy. I gotta figure out when the final grades are due. No. So my English teaching methodology, it's just a test. My oral English
Like
speaking
multiple
class,
choice
it will
kind
be
of
like
thing?
yeah, my oral English class, it'll be like speaking. So I need to. I was thinking the same thing to make them up, because even if they don't get made up, even if they don't have to be made up, I think it's just to me it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, it seems like a weird way to go out.
Right, it really does. If we had
Not cool.
Yeah, it's really not.
And your students like you too,
Right. So yeah.
Yeah, well there you go. How nice. Speaking of which, do you want to sorry.
Yeah, I got a shout out.
My soundboard
Spread a little
love.
Uh-oh.
Spread a little love.
There we go. So like I said before we started recording, this is a special shout out going Jared's way. And maybe you've heard of this, Jared. Formula One pledges to wipe out their carbon footprint. So they have a plan to switch to low and zero carbon logistics to transport teams and equipment between events. Car racing franchise Formula One will be carbon neutral by 2030, according to a plan launched this month. According to the plan, Formula One will switch to low or zero carbon logistics and travel, as well as implementing credible carbon offsetting and carbon sequestration programs. Whatever those fancy words mean, I can't really tell you. The franchise estimated total emissions for 2019 are 200,056 and 551 tons. Emissions from F1 race cars themselves only comprise about 0.7% of the total in 2019, while 45% come from transporting race cars and equipment between events. So I think that's great. I think that's really awesome of them to do this. I'm curious to see how it will affect their industry. But I think they've given themselves a decent timeline. They have 11 or 10 years more or less now. And I think it will be great if they can achieve their goals.
That's one of the things I like about Formula One is that they are. Yeah, it's a bunch of race cars racing at ridiculous speeds, and it just seems like a little frivolous, and maybe it is, but it's fun. But like a lot of technology that they're at the cutting edge of technology, like the technology that goes into those cars you couldn't even believe. By the way, did you know that a Formula One car is a hybrid? By the way,
I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah. And so, they have consistently pushed the limits, and OEMs like Mercedes, they have a team, Ferrari. Some of that technology eventually, might trickle down to, a Ferrari you can actually buy at a store, or one of the top of the line Mercedes or something.
Sure.
Or even just normal cars too, with carbon fiber and stuff like. So it is, and just with the constraints that they have, they really do have to push the envelope with how they do things. So it is interesting to see them. It makes sense to me to see that, because it's just another, because these cars are still gonna be getting better too and stuff like that. And but they're gonna be doing it greener, and I think that's an interesting goal to give themselves.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. It's really, really great. So shout out to Formula One. But
betcha.
Now I think it's time we get into some untranslatables, Jared. What do you think?
Yes. Oh, you already
Mind
got
if
me
I
all
get us
excited.
started?
Yeah. Please.
My first one is Indonesian. And for our listeners that didn't listen to the previous episode, I will be going to Indonesia in February. So figured it would be fun to try to learn a couple different things. And this is Indonesian, and it is masuk angin, which means to enter wind.
To enter wind. Now, it's not to fart, I assume.
It's not, no. Although that would be funny, but no, it's not.
To enter wind. Is it just to talk about, or to talk a lot? Someone that talks a lot, or someone that talks unnecessarily, or someone that doesn't shut up?
No. So I think a lot of countries share the same belief, Jared, that if you use too much air conditioning, or you're outside in the...
Bless you.
Sorry. If you're outside in the cold too much, what will happen to you?
You'll get sick.
There we go.
Oh, so enter wind is to get sick.
Basically, yeah. So it's a widespread Indonesian. It's a widespread Indonesian ailment, often the result of either sleeping underneath a cold fan or air conditioning, or being caught out in a thunderstorm. It is somewhere between a cold and the flu on the sickness spectrum. Needless to say, it's a regular occurrence on the Indonesian Isles, and though it may, So there you go.
Okay. One of my favorite Instagram follows is untranslatable.co. And I've been seeing a lot of fun untranslatables, and I just scroll right by them and giggle to myself. And I'm like, I want to say some of these things. So I'm just going to shout out to Amadens of the Foreign Language Collective. It's also untranslatable.co. Hit up her Kickstarter, too. It's still active, I think. Actually, I can check. It's right here. Anyway, this one caught my attention, and it's still going on. So hit that up. This caught my attention, and you'll understand why when I say it. I don't even want to say this. It's kind of. Let me start with a different one. This just has a hard F in it, and it makes me uncomfortable. Okay. But this one doesn't. And this is Basque. Do you know what Basque is? Basque country. Basque.
Isn't it near Spain?
Basque. Basque language is spoken in the Basque country, a region that straddles the westernmost Pyrenees in adjacent parts of northern Spain and southern France.
Yeah, very northern
good.
Spain. Okay, brilliant.
Very good. So this is the phrase. Okay. Ahuntaden gawarediko estula. That was a tough one. A goat's cough at midnight.
A goat's cough at midnight. Can you give me a clue?
All right, who am I going to pick on?
You can pick on me.
Okay. That'll make it easier so I don't have to insult anyone. We'll just make it fun. So, you and I, we've been doing this podcast together for a while, and, it's a two-way street. We both have to input things, and you're often giving me ideas, and some of them are great, and sometimes you give me some ideas, and I just have to be like, listen, that is a goat's cough at midnight.
So it just means it's something that's not very good.
That's not a good example. Okay. Okay. It's something unimportant, most often used in a negative sense.
Okay. Something
I don't know how to give me. Can you think of a good example for that? Something unimportant.
Yeah. So say I really want to do a new segment, and the segment isn't very significant. Then you could say that's a goat's cough at midnight.
Yes. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of like insulting, like essentially, that's a stupid idea.
Right. That's true. My last one for you today, Jared, is Chinese, and it is Ho Nian Ma Yu Yu. Oh, I don't think I pronounced that last one right. Hold up. Let me try it one more time. Ho Nian Ma Yu. I think that was right. Which is translates as monkey year, horse month. Ma is horse, right? Ma. So monkey year, horse month.
Monkey year, horse month. I mean, that's monkey year, horse month. Monkey year, horse month. A monkey, I don't know. A monkey lasts longer than a horse.
Well, no. Think about this in terms of Chinese culture, Jared. In Chinese culture, you have like year of the dog, year of the sheep. I'm a sheep, by the way. Year of the monkey.
I'm a monkey.
So monkey year. Are you year of the monkey?
Yeah.
What were you, 92? Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. I didn't know that was monkey. Okay, cool. But anyway, so year of the monkey, month of the horse.
Now I have no idea. Oh, is it just saying like you're old or something?
No.
Or you're growing up?
Let me try to give you an example.
I am a monkey.
Let me.
That was yeah.
Okay.
I don't like that sentence.
Then you say you were born in the year of the monkey, Jared.
Okay.
There you go. But anyways, let me give you an example. So say we want to have a guest on our podcast, and I say, contact this person, and then you kind of tell me, you're like, all right, I mean, I'll try, but monkey year, monkey horse, or sorry, like, monkey year, horse month.
Like it's like a monkey. It's like a long shot.
Yes and no. So this idiom means there's no specific date or deadline for something. It also indicates, though, something that is unlikely to be accomplished. So that's why I say I think you got it. Yeah.
So it's kind of like a we'll try, but like a don't get your hopes up there, Chief.
Right, exactly.
I have one more I'm going to do. It's going to be quick. It's Malaysian, and it's makan anjing, and it's to eat wind.
To eat wind. We had enter the wind, now to eat wind. Mm-hmm. Is this like to get lost?
No, but that's what I thought too when I first read it. Mm-hmm. Eat wind.
What is it? What is it, Jared?
The holidays are coming up here, or are here, I guess. And a lot of people are trying to eat wind, get out of the office.
Oh, okay. Get out of the office, have free time, enjoy yourself.
Go on vacation.
Gotcha. Okay. Speaking of vacation, Jared.
Maybe to get outside, Sorry. Go ahead.
Speaking of vacation, though, holidays can be a great time to take a vacation and go abroad.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. Have you ever spent holidays abroad or not at home?
I have spent holidays not at home, yes. So when I lived in Philadelphia, which was for 4 years, for all those years, I either went to Christmas or Thanksgiving, except for last year, I went to neither. And
how did it feel?
At first, Thanksgiving was okay. It kind of sucked, because you talk to the worst part is getting the Thanksgiving call and hearing like all the family in the background and stuff. That's always kind of a bummer. It's like, oh man,
sure,
how are they laughing there? I'm not there.
Right.
Oh, they're having a good time
without me?
No. I thought they're all just wearing black with veils over their face, eating,
crying,
quiet. Yeah,
right.
This would have been so much better. So that's always kind of a bummer. But that wasn't as bad. Christmas, at first I thought it would be kind of nice. It kind of takes some of the pressure away of like giving gifts a little bit. Sometimes, I might have still sent a gift here or there, but in general, like there's not as much of a pressure there. There's just a lot going on Christmas Day at like you're always sort of on and on. You're like on meaning like you have to like talk to they're your family members, but a lot of them you haven't seen in a while. So like I kind of get like those questions like I get sick of those cliche like questions and quotes that you hear like, last time I saw you, you were this tall, or like, oh, you look just like your daddy, or it's like, are
your family members still saying that to you, Jared?
I get all. These are things that I probably got when I was just in Louisiana over Thanksgiving.
Nuh-uh, really?
Maybe not the you were this tall because I didn't see that many family members, but I often get the you look just like your dad one. Then I often get like, how's work? Do you enjoy being back in Michigan? And it's literally just it's just like a cookie cutter answer once you get to like the third person, where it's like might hear myself saying the exact same thing I said to other people. So that kind of just wears on me a little bit. So that it seems like a nice thing to avoid, but on Christmas last year, what we did, my parents are lovely people. They sent me some gifts. That got to my house maybe 3 or 4 days before Christmas,
and we them right when they got there, right?
I did, and then I just sort of shittily duct taped them back up so I could pretend to be surprised on Christmas when we FaceTimed. And we all
there you go.
No, so we did on Christmas we FaceTimed, and like what we usually do is my mom will like hand out gifts and sort of go around and give each person a gift and they open it. So they sort of did like a handoff to me, and I opened a gift and showed people. I told you about this though, didn't I? Like my dad was doing like holding the phone for FaceTime, and he'd be like, "Hey, look what Eileen got," one of my cousins. I'd be like, "I've been looking at your shoulder for the past 3 minutes."
Right, I do remember you telling me that. Yeah.
What did Eileen get? So that was nice and fun, but also sort of a bummer, like that's not ideally, like it just was like, oh, it's so much better. And once again, sort of like the FOMO where it's like, yeah, you guys aren't supposed to be having fun without me. Okay. That's not how this works.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
But it was okay for a year. I'm definitely nothing I'd want to make a habit of,
Right.
It's nice going home. And, also, as I get older, I start noticing family members getting older more, and you start to appreciate going home more as you see your family members getting older,
Oh, absolutely.
Speaking of family members getting older, tell your mom you're fine.
Don't worry, I did. She knows I'm alive, and I'm okay. But I will say this, though, Jared. I do think this holiday season will probably be one of the most difficult, just because I am pretty close with my family, and it's nice. It's nice when they like FaceTime you in, but like you said, it's also kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
it really is.
What are they gonna do for Christmas? Your parents?
That's a good question.
Probably go to
my sister's house. Yeah. I think I know my niece will be coming up from Ohio. To spend, I think, Christmas Day and a couple other days with my parents, with Oma and Opa, as we call them. Because
you have other siblings, but you're sort of your parents' baby, and for the for your entire life, you've been essentially an only child, even though you've had
two
you
older
have
half sisters.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They were sort of
quite
adults by the time you were.
Yeah. Right. Well, and I know how hard this is, how hard it is on my mom, especially. I think for my dad, it's also hard on him, but he doesn't. I don't think he would ever actually let me know. He's just not that. He's not the kind of feeling sharing kind of guy. I mean, my dad pretty well. I'm sure you don't picture him like sitting down and having a heart to heart with me about how much he misses me and all that stuff. I think my dad's more disappointed that I haven't even started to play table tennis here in China yet. But I haven't. Yeah, really had that much time.
Too.
I haven't really had that much time.
I want to hear about it.
Right. But yeah, so I think it'll be tough, and like FaceTiming is nice and all, but it's just not the same. But on the other hand, too, I think sometimes the holidays are a great time to, if you can be with your family, also travel. Like I mentioned, my parents actually came to visit me last year for Christmas and New Year's. And I can tell you that for my parents, it was definitely a lot of fun because they got to see some new places. I took my parents to Prague, to Dresden. Where else did we go? Karlovy Vary.
And also it's kind of nice for people like your parents who have been together for, such a long time, where it's like, I mean, we can give each other gifts back and forth all day. I mean, but like to have like a mutual gift of going on a vacation where it's like a gift for everyone, a gift for the whole family.
Right. Definitely. Yeah. I would agree 100%. So, so they came to visit me. I think they were in Europe with me for about 2 weeks. And I can tell you, my mom spends a lot of time and energy decorating the house for Christmas. She definitely decks the halls with balls of holly, for sure. But she told me last year that like it was really nice because they were gone for pretty much all of the holiday season. I mean, of course, she missed seeing our family, but she was like, it was so much less stress trying to do everything. Like, I'm sure she probably sent gifts beforehand or gave gifts beforehand, but she said like a lot of the stress was gone because they were on vacation and they could just relax and enjoy the vacation, which was nice. And I think that's definitely an advantage of spending your holidays abroad. And for some people too, I don't think this is necessarily the case for you and me, but for some people, their family environments can be kind of toxic.
Some people it's a blessing.
Right, to not be home for the holidays.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to deck your halls with balls of holly or anything, or like spruce up with it? No sort of decoration or anything.
Nope.
So you don't
spend
actually
the money on it. Nope.
So you don't actually really miss Christmas. You miss the way that it's the family time.
That's not true. I do miss the atmosphere because the atmosphere is not present here in China. I do miss the atmosphere. Right. Also,
so you miss the music and stuff too, and like
miss the music, miss the ornaments,
Salvation
the
Army
lights.
I'll definitely
the guy jingling the bell.
I'll definitely get some good. Last time I took Christmas lights pictures were in Philly, and it's because when I lived in Philly, I was making a joke on an episode about how there's just most ridiculous things, and then literally I made a joke about a SpongeBob, and then when I went to piano lessons, I saw a SpongeBob.
Right. Exactly.
I was like, oh,
exactly.
That's exactly what I said. So I'm definitely gonna get some good pictures of lights for you.
Sweet.
I'm sure I'll find some ridiculous ones.
Oh, I'm sure. Absolutely. But yeah, so I think there are a lot of pros and cons to doing holidays abroad. Another really big pro that I got to experience last year in the Czech Republic that I will be forever thankful and grateful for is getting to experience how they celebrate Christmas in the Czech Republic. And also, we got like a taste of that in Austria when we were there. We had to leave before Christmas, but we still got a taste of it because the Christmas markets were open. So we got to visit those. Then, I got to experience it even more when I was in Vienna on Christmas with my parents. We were in Dresden before Christmas, and Dresden has some of the best Christmas markets. I think
they started
pictures,
in
Jared.
Dresden, didn't they?
I'm not sure.
Bold words.
I'm not sure.
Bold
Could
words.
be.
I don't even know why I put that out there.
I'm not sure. I know at least one of the oldest ones and one of the biggest ones is for sure in Dresden. So that's true.
One of my personal pros about being away from home for the holidays, avoiding the travel pandemonium. I hate going to the airport, as any listener that's listened to more than one episode's probably heard.
Right. Yes.
But I especially hate it around the holiday time where it's packed to the brim. Everyone's traveling on the same 2 or 3 days before and after the Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff, and it's just packed to the brim. And then you're also dealing with more people that don't travel as often. So you gotta you're in a security line with someone that was like, "Do I have to take my shoes off?" Dude, when I went to Louisiana, this woman behind me asked, and maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Let me ask you this. Am I the asshole?
This is a fun game. All right, let's play it.
I was at the airport going to Louisiana for Thanksgiving a couple weeks ago, and the woman behind me asked me, do I have to take my shoes off to go through security? And I said, yeah, you do. And I said, but if you're over a certain age, you don't have to take your shoes off. I didn't know how old she was. I didn't specify what that age was. But I did
you
definitely
feel like an asshole after you said
I did
that?
definly imply that you could probably
She might
keep
be
your
old
shoes
enough
on. She made a joke about she's like, well, I guess that's the perk. There's one perk of being old. Am I the asshole for saying that? That's how I said it too. I don't know what the age limit is, but I do know there is an age limit on that. Something like that.
Right.
I just said I didn't specify that. I didn't say like you're probably old enough.
Right. I think as long as you didn't say that you're probably old enough, I think it's fine.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I think
that was
too. I feel
subtle
like
enough.
it too.
Because I think you were also just trying to be nice. And like if you thought that potentially she was old enough, like she doesn't have to go through the hassle of taking her shoes off.
Yeah. And I'm like,
for
maybe
some
you're not
older
old enough. I'm
people-
just saying, not everyone has to take off their shoes. You asked a question, I'm giving you the full answer.
Right.
Are you handicapped?
I probably would have ended my answer with, I don't know how old you are, and I'm not trying to say that you look too old, but
No, see, that's too much.
that's fine.
That seems like
Is that
too much.
Okay. All
I
right,
feel
fair
like at that point, like now you're kind of backpedaling.
Oh, that's
I feel like you just
That's
gotta
true.
like leave it.
That's true. Good point.
Stand confidently in your backhanded insult compliment.
That's true. That's true. I think. Go ahead.
Does Chad have outlets to celebrate holidays like Thanksgiving or Xmas with fellow expats?
Mm-hmm.
That's
I did Thanksgiving in Chufu, which was great. Had a
Right.
really tasty dinner. Also met another guy named Chad who also lives in Jinan, so that was quite
wow.
a trip. He's from New Zealand, super cool dude. And that was a nice mixture. There were some expats. We had, how many different countries did we have represented there? We had U.S., New Zealand, Canada, France, and China. So we had 5 different countries represented at our one
Interesting.
dinner table. So that was really cool. Had a lot of great food. Had some Jell-O, which was nice. Let's see here. Had some stuffing, which was great. We didn't have turkey, but we did have duck, which was pretty good. Wasn't too bad. I will say they know how to cook duck here in China. That's
I
for
believe
sure.
that. And turkey is, and not that there's anything wrong with it, but it doesn't really blow. It's never really blowing anyone away, you know? It's
Right.
a little bland.
You need the gravy. Like I can't eat the turkey without the gravy.
That's
Or, like,
fair.
the sides.
I'm a fan of the cranberry sauce a little more than the gravy.
Me too. Cranberry sauce is great. But yeah, and then for Christmas, I will be celebrating with my girlfriend. So that'll be really great.
Oh, wow. Chad just said the G word.
Yep.
And she celebrates Christmas?
So no, well, not really. So she's Russian, and so their big holiday is actually New Year's. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna celebrate
Always
Christmas
looking for an excuse
my
to
style.
drink.
And for New Year's we're gonna celebrate Russian style. So we're gonna watch some Russian movies.
Don't hurt yourself.
Which will be really cool. I'll try not to. We're gonna cook some like Russian food, which will be really interesting. She's a great cook. So I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, so I will say that I have to really thank her a lot because I think she will definitely make this Christmas a lot easier.
Yeah, it helps having somewhere to go for sure,
And
and
someone to
that's why
celebrate
I was
with.
asking that. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
Because sitting at home, all that makes you do is think about all the people having fun without you.
Right. And we always have such a great time. So it'll be really good. That's for sure.
Well, great.
And I think that's really important, Jared, as you mentioned, that when you do celebrate holidays abroad, that you don't spend them locked up in your room crying and eating your Chinese takeout. At least in my case, it'd be Chinese takeout because I live here in China, but whatever.
Last Thanksgiving and Christmas, I did spend them alone, but I made a point to go a little above and beyond on the meals I cooked for myself. I'm a fairly good cook, but I actually looked through some cookbooks and stuff and let me step up my game a little bit, and
Right.
try to do something special. Try to do something special.
That's fair. That's a good idea. Yeah, and I mean the one advantage though is if you are by yourself, you can celebrate that holiday however you want. So if you want to wear pajamas all day and watch episodes of The Office all day while you eat ice cream,
Merry
go
Christmas.
for it. That's right. Happy Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas or Happy New Year. But just to recap, I think the keys or the positives of holidays abroad are definitely you can experience a new culture. If you go travel abroad and you travel somewhere, you can experience a new culture. You can also try some exciting new things on your holiday, which is always great. Also, you get to make memories with your friends or your family, whoever you're traveling with. Or if you're bold enough to travel somewhere alone for a holiday, maybe you make some new friends. So I think it's really, really great to celebrate your holidays abroad. But you also have to be careful, I would say, and know what kind of person you are. And if you're not someone who enjoys the solitude of being alone, I wouldn't recommend doing holidays abroad by yourself or doing holidays alone.
Yeah. Would you have? I can imagine you looking if you had to, looking at up expat groups a little more vigorously, but your job sort of helps facilitate that a little bit.
That is true. Speaking Jared, of not being alone, I think that leads us to our song of the pod today, which is by a Norwegian DJ named, I don't know if it's Kygo or Kigo, Kygo.
Yeah, I was wondering about that too.
But the song is called Here For You. It's Kygo featuring Ella Henderson, and it's a fantastic song. I also have to thank my girlfriend. She showed me this song. But it's a good one. I love the lyrics. But what are your thoughts on it, Jared?
It feels like it should be I feel like who is it, Jessica Alba or something should come out and be beauty, elegance, Dior. That's sort of what I feel like when I hear that song a little bit. It's very smooth electronica, and that's the vibe I get.
I would definitely agree with that. It's like a more chill. It's a more chill type of electronic music for sure. It has a nice kind of calming effect. I think the vocals on top of it are good, but I do think it also has a level of intensity. Towards the end of the song,
I could see that. Yeah, for sure,
but the beat doesn't ramp up to this crazy fast techno beat.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Interesting choice. I like it. That goes into the category of like it, probably won't listen to it again, you know?
That's fair.
But it just doesn't fit into my
but
it just doesn't fit into my my listening realm.
right. It's
but
not quite your cup of tea.
I
Nothing
like it,
wrong
though.
with that. It's a good one. Check it out on our YouTube channel, Untranslatable Podcast, on our Song of the Pod playlist. So, Jared, my Chinese word of the pod today is guo wai, and guo wai means I always pronounce this one wrong. Guo wai means
Wow, that was
abroad.
good. Okay.
Abroad.
My Spanish word of the pod is festejar
Which is like
Festejar.
a festival.
or celebrate.
Festive?
Celebrar.
Celebration.
To celebrate.
To celebrate. Oh, nice. That's a good one. That is a good one. Well, Jared, I think to recap today's episode, I think holidays abroad can be a really great thing and can be a lot of fun and very special, especially if you are able to travel with your friends or family abroad. But I think there are also some advantages to not necessarily being at home during the holidays. You get a change of pace. I think holidays can be a very stressful time, but when you spend them abroad, I think it has a more vacation vibe than it does like oh my gosh, I have to cook all this food, I have to decorate my house, I have to do all these things. So I think that's another big advantage as well to spend holidays abroad.
Yeah, holidays are lovely, but they can also be stressful.
And a lot of work.
And I'll tell you this, I was a little sad a little bit on Christmas for sure. Not as much on Thanksgiving, I would say, but definitely on Christmas. But I definitely wasn't stressed, that's for sure.
Right. I believe it. Yeah.
I was chilling.
Right. Which is I think the point of holidays in general is to be 100% chilling as much as you can.
That's actually an interesting point. That might have been one of the first Christmases in a while that I actually felt like that I actually came back to work after the holidays and felt refreshed.
Yeah. It's difficult. It's very difficult.
So there's a benefit too.
That is for sure. Yeah.
Don't go home, everyone. Forget your families.
Jared's words, not my words. Well, let us know what you think about spending your holidays abroad. We'd love to hear about some of your experiences, where you would like to go or where you've gone before at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. Check out our Instagram, Untranslatable Podcast, for pictures and clips from our podcast. Also, check out our Twitter, Untranslatable1, if you want to slide into those DMs and give Jared some flack for telling him telling you not to go home for the holidays. But be careful, Jared might roast you. So just be careful. You've been warned. And lastly, check out our YouTube channel, Untranslatable Podcast, for our Song of the Pod playlist. And if you're curious what our beautiful bearded faces look like. So check that out. So, also one last thing. Sorry for the ramble, but 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. We would really appreciate it.
Love.
Give us some feedback how we can make this podcast better for you. So as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, Děkujeme, muchas gracias, and shisha.
Hey everyone, I'm Nicole from the Expat Cast.
And I'm Sean from Expat Life Germany.
We both host podcasts about what it's like to live as an expat in Germany.
What she means by that is we are sworn rivals, and as such, we thought there would be no better way to celebrate this Christmas season than with a cutthroat competition.
Can you feel the Christmas spirit already? Listeners, meet Fege Podfo, or the first ever Germany expat podcasters Advent donation face-off.
Starting with the first day of Advent on December 1st, we're competing to see who can raise more money for their charity of choice. I'm asking for donations for Lebenshilfe in Bad Windsheim.
And I'm asking for donations for Women's Worth Inc.
Every Sunday until Christmas, you can tune into either of our shows to get an update on who's in the lead. We'll announce the winner on Christmas Day.
To find out more information about our charities of choice, as well as to learn how to participate, visit expatlifegermany.de/charity. You can also subscribe to the Expat Cast for updates.
Or you could subscribe to Expat Life Germany for updates.
Boo! No, don't subscribe to him. Subscribe to me.
So-
Subscribe to
so
me.
uncalled for.
Smack talk, smack talk.
Nicole.
Smack, smack.
Nicole.
Sock talk, smack
What are you
talk.
doing? What are you doing?
I think I'm bad at this.
The Smack Talk Queen, everybody. At any rate, we hope you play along. Get donating. Auf Wiederhören.
Auf Wiederhören.